Good morning and welcome back to another video, and I'd like to introduce you to Loch Garten. So today we're going to be looking at a number of different venues around the Cairngorms with the aim of trying to bring to you as many different species as possible. So come along for the journey and see what I see. So this is the Abernethy Nature Reserve, which is on Loch Garten, and it's probably most famous for its osprey population. They've got an osprey nest on Loch Garten. They have webcams on it and you can view the osprey and its nesting and its chicks and everything throughout the summer. So if you come here in the summer months and probably spring into early autumn, the place is really busy, and the visitor centre is open. But if you come in the winter, all of that is closed off and there's not that many people here. And the reason you come to Loch Garten in the winter is for crested tits. So the minute you arrive in Loch Garten into the Abernethy Nature Reserve, the canopy is just alive with various different birds and you can hear them all calling out. Now they get lots of cold tits here, and it's probably the cold tits that we can hear now. And there's lots of other birds as well. They do get crossbills here, but it's the crested tits that we're looking for. And they predominantly sit high up in the canopy. And in fact, if you come during the summer months, you're unlikely to see the crested tit because they stay high up in the canopy. But in the winter months, as the food diminishes, they're drawn down to feeding sites. So where there is feed has been put out with seed, the crested tits will come down to them, as will all the other birds. So fingers crossed we'll find them. Well, that was absolutely fantastic. We're here for the crested tits. No crested tits to be seen. Loads of other birds coming down, chaffinches, cold tits, blue tits. And then up in the trees, there was a crossbill. It was a fleeting visit, but I think I've got a photograph. If I've got anything decent, it will be a record shot and quite heavily cropped. I'll pop it up on the screen for you now. I've never seen a crossbill before. They've been pointed out to me when I was on a safari last year, but they were up in the top of trees and they were flying. And to be honest with you, they would just look like red splodges. This came right out of the pine tree top and was sat quite prominent on a branch, and you could clearly see the crossbill, and its red colouring. Absolutely fantastic. You never know what you're going to get when you come to RSPB reserves like this, and that was a truly remarkable sighting. One of the things that Loch Garten is very famous for is the fact that the cold tits will feed out of your hand. And you can probably see, I'm just holding my hand out and they're in and out rapidly. They don't wait at all. In fact, we've got our little French bulldog with us, Minnie, and they've been landing on her, thinking that she might have something to feed them, and that they're actually really well accustomed to feeding out of your hand. I know there's probably going to be some people that think this is a no-no and, you know, avian flu and all the other things, but the sensation of having a little tiny bird land on your hand really is incredible. So we've had a good look round the reserve. No cresties, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame. I have got photographs of cresties in the past, so I'm not without some photographs of them, but it was still nice to come and see the reserve, to have those gorgeous coal tits feeding out of your hand, and obviously the star attraction, the crossbill, which was absolutely sensational and a first for me. So we're going to move on now. Today's just really a case of whistle-stop tour of lots of little places where we can get some photographs of some species. So stay with us and hopefully we'll bring you some more. Welcome to the Cairngorms Mountain. This is a ski resort and it's the second place that I'm bringing you today. Now, although it's a ski resort and you know there's lots and lots of people around, it has a very special visitor, and every time I've been here, they have been here as well. I can see one just over to my left, and they are the enigmatic snow bunting. Absolutely delightful little bird. You can get them across the country, to be honest with you, in the winter time, but they're always here on the Cairngorm Mountain, in around the car park, and I think that's a lot bit down to the fact that people do put out feed for them. So I'm just going to sit quietly and let them come to me. So it really is just a case of waiting. They're really not fazed by people, but what they tend to do is they obviously move around to various different points. So I tend to come to the stairs, the steps just coming up from the car park onto the path on the top, and then I just put out some seed on top of the dry stone wall, and thankfully today there's a dusting of snow on it, which is really, really nice. And then you just sit and wait, and the snow buntings will come to you. At times, I would say the flock has been at 30, 40 strong. There's a really, really good number of snow bunting up here, and it's nice to actually come to a location and there be the subject that I was coming to photograph. But yeah, it's been fantastic, and lots of opportunity to get some photographs of them. I've got some nice perch shots now as I stood on the wall. What I'm trying to get now is some in-flight shots, and that's something a little bit different that I've not achieved before. So for the flight shots, these are obviously they're a very, very fast moving bird, so your shutter speed needs to be at least 0.002 of a second. We've got lovely light today. You can see the lights coming in from the left hand side, so I can afford to have my shutter speed quite high. I've got my aperture wide open, and that's allowing my ISO to be nice and low, so I'm getting some lovely clean crisp photographs. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that video. A little bit of something different, rather than one target species, visiting a couple of different locations and seeing what birds we could photograph along the way. The crossbill was a definite surprise for me and not something that I expected to photograph. I hope you enjoyed the little snow buntings at the end of this video. They're always a favourite for me. They're such a charismatic little bird, very, very attractive colouring, especially when you can photograph them against the snow. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like. If you've not yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so as well. We're over 4,000 subscribers now, and I really appreciate every single person who takes the time to either drop me a comment, I respond to every comment, or subscribe to the channel. It really does make a big difference. As always, there's Buy Me a Coffee, link across the bottom of the screen now. If you want to show your support that little bit more and buy a coffee, every single one is appreciated. And so, from Scotland, from the Cairngorm National Park, and until next time, ta-ra!